everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on all types of topics related to narcissism, so please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. Please give the video a thumbs up. That's a free way that you can help me out and I really appreciate it. And definitely make sure you leave a comment. I like to know what everybody else is thinking. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what happens when you love a narcissist. First off, straight up, I'm going to tell you it isn't going to go well for you. Narcissists are incapable of loving anybody else. They destroy the people who love them. Without love in a relationship, the relationship will die a slow, agonizing death. The one who can love is always going to be the victim. So think about somebody who's deprived of air. So imagine if you were deprived of oxygen. You would become desperate to breathe, and it would get worse and worse as the seconds ticked by. You would eventually be thrashing about until death overtook you. This is a visual representation of your relationship with a narcissist. You will slowly be deprived of human decency, respect, and caring. You will become more and more desperate trying to get your spouse, the one person that you should be able to expect unconditional love from, to show you that they care, to be the person that they used to be when they were love bombing you. You will end up losing respect for yourself as you become more and more desperate, and then one of three things is going to happen. You will either find the strength somehow to leave, you will be cruelly discarded, or you will live unhappily ever after. What isn't going to happen is that the narcissist will change. What isn't going to happen is that eventually this person will become the man or woman you deserve. Narcissists cannot love anybody. They lack the main component of humanity, the ability to feel empathy. And that's a hallmark of narcissism. When you first discover narcissism, that's what you're going to see. No empathy, lacking empathy. And what that means is that they cannot connect with anybody else. Now, typically what will happen is that you will be in a relationship with somebody, and at the beginning of the relationship, things went really well because the person was love bombing you. As the relationship progresses, the narcissist starts to drop their mask and you see who the person really is. But initially, you don't get that. You don't understand. You don't even know what narcissism is. They're acting distant, cold. They're giving you silent treatments. They financially abused you. They cheated on you. They physically assaulted you. Whatever it is, they seem to have had a complete 180. So you get desperate and you start looking online. So here you are Googling symptoms, and eventually you run into narcissistic personality disorder. So you read about this and it hits you. Oh my gosh, this is what I'm married to. I'm married to one of these things. That's your reality. And it's, at first, a lot of times people will get hope from this. All right, now I know what the problem is. We can fix it. We'll go to therapy. I will love this person well. I'll tell them what the problem is. And together we're going to overcome it. And then I can have my happily ever after. The problem with that is that you discount the fact that narcissists are severely disturbed. They don't think like you or I do. If I had something wrong with me, I'd want to fix it. If I had a psychological condition or a physical symptom, I would want to fix it. A narcissist doesn't see anything wrong with themselves. So it's impossible. Think about anything. If you can't change anything if you refuse to see it, if you don't see it, you have to be able to see it. And narcissists, in order for them to accept that they're a narcissist, they would have to also accept that they have abused you, that they've been terrible, they've been cold, they've been cruel, that essentially they're not a good person. That goes against what everything about narcissism is. Narcissists believe truly they're better than you. You are lower than them. They're not going to bring themselves down to your level and kind of grovel at your feet and try to make amends to you. That's not what they do. You're with somebody who truly doesn't feel compassion. They have a cold detachment. They are not in tune with anyone else's inner emotions. Truly, they do not care. Anything that's going on with you is inconsequential. Some people say that narcissists have a reptilian brain, so that would mean that they only feel basic, primitive emotions. So they can feel protective emotions like anger, but not deeper feelings of care and concern. They react impulsively and coldly, but they don't ever connect with anybody. There's no deepness, there's no depth. Everything is on the surface level. Everything is instinctual. This is really bad news if you're in a relationship with somebody like this. Living with a narcissist, loving a narcissist, it's a world of hurt for you. Narcissism is an abusive disorder. You're going to be abused because narcissists are 100% selfish. Their needs are always paramount to yours. So if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they might physically abuse you. They're always going to emotionally abuse you. They might sexually abuse you, financially abuse you, especially if you're with a covert. That's your life. That's what you're looking at. If the person didn't do that, they wouldn't be a narcissist. They don't have real human emotions to give you. They really do act in a very primitive way. So think about if somebody wanted something that you didn't have to give. So say you're my neighbor and you're baking a cake and you are like, oh, I have chickens in my backyard. So you're thinking to yourself, I'll just go over to Sharon's house and get some eggs because I don't have any. So here you are knocking at my door. Oh, is it all right if I take some eggs? I'm baking this cake and I don't have any. My chickens aren't laying eggs this week for whatever reason. I don't have any eggs. I'm so sorry, but I need the eggs. I know, I'm sorry, I don't have any, but I need them. I have to have them. It doesn't matter. The person could say to me, I'll give you $100 per egg. Just give me the eggs. I don't have them. So a narcissist does not have love. It doesn't matter what you do. You could beg, plead, cry, sacrifice, anything. They don't have it. So trying to get something from somebody that doesn't have it is just this endless game of pain for you. You're going to go on and on begging them for something. They really can't give it to you. So it's not even a situation where they don't want to give it to you. They cannot. That's what you're dealing with. Somebody who has narcissism completely lacks compassion, and humans and animals need compassion to thrive. Without it, you're going to wither. Think about when you hear about these kids in these orphanages in foreign countries. They're not given love. They're not given compassion. There's no empathy. They're only getting their basic needs met. So they're fed, they're clothed, but they never get a cuddle. And now think about you who are parents. I have 2 kids. I love to cuddle my kids. I still lavish my kids with affection. They're teenagers now, so I don't hold them on my lap. But when they were born, when they were little, I would always be cuddling them, reading to them, talking to them, being with them. My daughter was always a really good sleeper. She's the oldest. So she would sleep through the night without a problem. My son did not sleep through the night very easily. So I ended up co-sleeping with him. That was fantastic. I know some people have mixed feelings about that. I highly recommend it. It was just the most wonderful thing. He would be right up next to me at night, just cuddled with me. I'd wake up and see his cute little face there looking at me, his little chubby body. It was just a beautiful thing. I used to wear him in this baby sling during the day. We were always together. So if I was unloading the dishwasher or doing whatever, there he was. And both my kids, I have a tight bond with them because of that. These kids in orphanages, they completely lack it. And at some point, whatever the age cutoff is, it doesn't matter if they're given what they need later. They don't have it when they need it. And that's kind of how it is with the narcissist. At some point, and we don't know for sure how narcissists become narcissists. There's different theories as to how this happens. But it doesn't really matter when we're talking about the consequence for you. For whatever reason, they do not have empathy. So whether they could have had it at some point and don't, or whether it just there was some disorder at birth and they just were never going to have it. They had this brain issue. I don't know. We don't know. But what it means is that by the time you're in a relationship with them as an adult, it's too late. They're never going to have it. It doesn't matter how much love you lavish on them, how much you really care, how many prayers you do. This person, they're incapable of it. It's just like those kids in the orphanage. What ends up happening, and you end up hearing this on the news at some point, this child is adopted. So this child is adopted and they're 8, they're 9, whatever it is. They're still young, but they're past that infant/toddler stage when they needed to nurture that empathy, that's when it was growing. So now they're incapable of being the child they could have been. Now they have that reptilian instinctive brain. They're unhappy. They have no connection. They don't know what a bond is. So they act just on instincts. They're mad. They're going to cause destruction. They're sad. They're going to hurt somebody else. it's not their fault, but it is something you have to deal with if you are the adoptive parent. Same thing if you're with a narcissist. If you're with a narcissist, it doesn't really matter why they're like this. They are like this, and now you have to deal with it. Wanting them to change, needing them to change. It's like my neighbor with the eggs. I don't have the eggs. They don't have this to give to you. So you have to make some real important decisions. What are you going to do? Because the reality is that your self-esteem, your confidence, and your security is destroyed by somebody like this. So you're like a plant that isn't watered, and everybody knows what happens if there's a plant that isn't watered. It withers. It withers and it eventually dies. You only have one life. So you have to decide, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in a relationship with somebody that is never going to nurture you? You know ahead of time. I don't need to be psychic to tell you this. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you're never going to get what you need, and it's only going to get worse. And you're going to get older, and they're going to get worse, because narcissists don't get better. They don't mellow over time. You're in a nightmare situation. A narcissist is in a relationship because they want supply. They're not in a relationship to live life together in a better way. They're like an animal that can't ever be tamed. All the love and patience in the world can't help them. Essentially, narcissists are developmentally small children. They're like little toddlers. However, they're dangerous toddlers, because a little toddler, if I have my 2-year-old and he's having a temper tantrum, I can physically pick him up and move him somewhere else. I can give him a timeout. I can force my will on him. You cannot force your will on a grown man. My ex weighs he used to weigh 250. He's gained so much weight. So I'm just going to say he weighs 270, 275. I can't physically remove him somewhere else. This is a man who has control. He can decide what he does to me. He can physically dominate me. Somebody like that is extremely dangerous. And then on top of it, when they have authority over your finances, when they're controlling your emotions, this is somebody that will destroy you. And what happens to so many of us at the beginning of the relationship, we are a completely different person than we are at the end of the relationship. When I began my relationship, I was a confident, cheerful, successful person. That actually was very likely what attracted him to me in the first place. However, because, and crucially, and this happens to so many of us, because of my own unsettled childhood, I had no idea of my value. I grew up in a narcissistic home. This is why these things tend to perpetuate in families. It's all you know. If this is the only way that you know to live, if you grew up and you saw your father, like in my situation, my father was a narcissist, my mother was codependent. So I learned how relationships work through my own parents. And then my parents would always encourage me to do whatever my ex wanted. I've said this in another video. The day I got married, my father actually said to me, make sure he doesn't regret it. It wasn't make sure that he treats you right. You tell me if he hurts you. No, it was basically lay down, be a doormat, and let this person walk all over you, because that's what we do in this family. When things started going bad in my relationship, I actually told my parents, my ex physically abused me. He financially abused me, emotionally abused me. If you watch my videos, I've had to have the police come over to get him out of the house. He's traumatized me, traumatized my kids. My parents believe that I should still stay with this person. So if this is where I come from, this is how I grew up. Same with my ex. So everybody, the whole family's against me. They believe that I should take him back. I should forgive him. It doesn't matter what he's done. It doesn't matter. My ex had gone to a mental hospital because he was passed out in the front of my house with a loaded gun. That's okay for him to be around my kids. He drove drunk with my kids. That's okay. This is what I'm dealing with. So when I was in my relationship, that's what I knew, and I stayed for a long time because I didn't know my own value. In my family, this is what we did. I didn't know anything else. So I stayed when I was disrespected. I stayed when he physically assaulted me. I stayed when he financially abused me. I stayed when he was emotionally abusing me. My codependency flared right up. I believe that in any relationship, no matter what it is, You deserve what you have to give. Now, in my case, I was saved by God in 2016. He cured my codependency. That's another video. But because I wasn't codependent anymore, that's how I ended up with the strength to get out of the relationship. That's what happened. So I'll probably, I keep saying I am going to make another video talking about what happened to me in 2016, because I did have this religious experience that might interest a lot of you. But just for this video, it stopped my codependency, and that changed everything. So for all of us, we are the ones who need to change, because we can change. The narcissist doesn't see anything wrong with what they do. And I mentioned earlier in the video, if you have a plant and it's not watered and it withers, if you catch it in time, you can save this plant. It can thrive again. So if you are in a relationship with a narcissist and you think to yourself, this is horrible, I'm never going to have love again, I'm never, I might as well just stay here because I'm completely unlovable. It's not true. Everybody who loves, who has love to give, you can be in another relationship. And I'm not saying a relationship needs to be like your motivating factor to get out, but if you believe that this is the best you can do, it's not true. I'm in a relationship right now with an amazing man, and we've both talked. You know him from the video. He's been on some of my videos. His name is Joe. He's going to be on Monday's video, so stay tuned. We have this great relationship because we are able to empathize with each other. We're both empaths, and that's an amazing quality. And we've talked before. We're like, all right, we've both been in narcissistic relationships. It's amazing that we have the ability to overcome and give love, to show love to each other. It's not too late. We haven't been damaged beyond repair. That's how it is for all of you. You can still move on. You don't have to be stuck. You just think that you're stuck because you're in the middle of an abusive situation. There is life after narcissistic abuse. There is. I can tell you this because I am living it. You can live this. None of us have to be trapped in hell forever. That's the narcissist's fate. That isn't your fate. The narcissist wants you to think you can't do anything better because they don't respect you. They don't want better for you. They want you to be their servant. That's the type of thing that they are looking at for you. Narcissists will isolate you from your support, destroy your self-esteem, blame you for their behavior, and they will abuse you in all ways. If you believe that you can love them better, if you can save them, if you can help them, you are exactly who they're looking for. So think about that. From my own experience, I can tell you there is life after narcissistic abuse. It's not easy. I'm still going through the end of my relationship with my ex. However, I have been gifted a beautiful new life because I left the narcissist. That is how it can be for all of you. And I know I'm not trying to say it's easy to do this, but I know it's likely, it's possible, it can happen for every single person who has the strength to leave this relationship. Only a narcissist can hold you back, or you. Don't hold yourself back. Don't let the narcissist hold you back. Be free. Live your life. You only have one life. Thank you so much for watching this video. Truly, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody watching, commenting, liking. Like I said, I make videos 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if all goes well, I will see you in Friday's video. And Friday's video is where I give you the update on where I am in my divorce proceedings. So I have some news to tell you regarding that. So stay tuned. Have a great day.